Welcome to Marlins Park for today's press conference. Before we get started, just want to give the cursory reminder, if you just take a minute to silence your cell phones and any other mobile devices, I will do the same. And also just a quick note, the wireless password for if anyone needs to get on wireless access for this event, use Marlins Park guest. That should be a public access setup. My name is Chuck Sullivan, Director of Communications with the American Athletic Conference. First, I'd like to introduce the panelists here today. To my right, on my far right, is Mr. Claude Delorme, Executive Vice President of Operations and Events for the Miami Marlins. Mr. David Sampson, President of the Miami Marlins. To my immediate left, Mr. Mike Oresco, Commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. Mr. Nick Caperelli, Senior Associate Commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. And Mr. Pete Garcia, Executive Director of the Sports and Entertainment Division of Florida International University. The format for today will feature brief remarks from each of our panelists. Mr. Sampson will speak on behalf of the Marlins, and our two guests to our left will speak on behalf of the American Athletic Conference. Mr. Garcia will speak on behalf of our Spanish-speaking media. We'll be able to answer any questions and offer some remarks in Spanish. Before we begin, also I'd like to invite you to use our social media handles that we have set up. On Twitter, you can follow us at Miami Beach Bowl. On Facebook.com/Miami Beach Bowl. And, of course, we invite you to visit our webpage, miamibeachbowl.com. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce the President of the Miami Marlins, Mr. David Sampson.
Thank you. It's a far better memory to have a press conference for this reason than other reasons I've been in this room, that's for sure. But it's an honor. This came about when we started 10 years ago talking about a ballpark here at Marlins Park, and I'm staring at Bill Talbot right now and just smiling about all those days. This is exactly what we envisioned. This is why we are here. Not only do we play baseball here, it is a baseball facility, but it just makes sense. And when we were approached by the conference to talk about a Miami Beach Bowl, it was perfect. And from the soccer event we had to the to these guaranteed 6 events, we're just starting. And I was thinking back to the Orange Bowl and the last game the Hurricanes played here, I think was 2008, 2007 maybe. And these are hallowed grounds where you're sitting right now. This is where the Orange Bowl was, and the tradition we have of college football, postseason college football, regular season college football, and it should continue, and we can't be happier and couldn't be happier to partner with the conference. You're talking about it's first of all, I just want to talk about the white jacket. This is what Northerners look like who come to the Miami Beach Bowl, and I think it's outstanding. This is what Barry and Bill think about when they think about people in Miami and Miami Beach, and we didn't even ask him to dress that way, and that's what's.
I think he's moved here.
By the way, yeah, we didn't realize they needed so many full-time people for the bowl game, but apparently they do. It just continues to show where Miami is. You talk about a world-class city. When we talked about this ballpark, we talked about being a part of a world-class city is not just Major League Baseball. It's about having events like this. We're just one of the 210 events we do here on a yearly basis. So, again, thank you for your partnership. We will be great partners. You will see that this community embraces college football. It will embrace this bowl game. And I think today we're starting a tradition that's going to last a really, really long time, and that's exciting. So congratulations to you and to all of Miami, and thank you very much.
The Commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, Mr. Mike Oresco.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, David, for the warm introduction, and Claude, thank you for all you've done to get this done. Good morning, everyone. We're honored here to have Mayor Maddie Bauer and City Manager Jimmy Morales. Thank you very much for attending. We also have commissioners here. We're really very impressed with the turnout, and we're excited about this. This is a landmark day for our conference and also, obviously, for Miami Beach in the creation of the Miami Beach Bowl. I will ask Nick Caperelli and our partners with the Marlins to speak a little later to the particulars of this great event, but I can tell you that on behalf of the American Athletic Conference, we're extremely proud to make this announcement. I also want to recognize a few of our behind-the-scenes people who probably never really get the recognition they deserve. Chuck Sullivan, who handles our communications, Mike Costa, who works with Nick on football, Lisa Zanecchia, my personal assistant, Donna DeMarco, who is our office administrator and also one of the key people in the entire office, Jamie Corrin, who is here working with the cameras, and Mark Hodgkin, who also handles our website. We have rebranded our conference with what we feel is a strong name and an appealing graphic identity. We've secured media rights deals with the industry leaders in sports television, ESPN and CBS, that give our schools unprecedented exposure, and we've strategically added institutions of the highest academic and athletic caliber to our membership. We have also charged our staff and ourselves to think outside the box, coming up with ideas that would keep us at the highest level of college athletics. We're always seeking innovative ways of doing things, and in working with Marlins Park and the Marlins organization to establish this bowl game, we're being strategic and proactive, and that's precisely what we want to be going forward. This is obviously a great community. It's an outstanding stadium. This will be one of the top bowls. We're really excited about it. Our bowl lineup for the next 6-year cycle is now completed with the introduction of the Miami Beach Bowl. It's a perfect example of the kind of approach, again, that is going to move us all forward. Our goals when building our bowl partnerships are to play great opponents in desirable destinations that are also accessible to our fans. And the Miami Beach Bowl, of course, meets and exceeds all of these objectives. It's another milestone as we reinvent the conference. The bowl lineup that we have will feature games against the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, Mountain West, Conference USA, the Sun Belt, and the Mid-American Conference. And we'll be playing in great destinations, obviously, here in Miami Beach, St. Petersburg, Hawaii, the Bahamas, Boca Raton, and other places. We'll play where college football is a way of life, where college football is extremely important. And in doing so, we're going to give our student-athletes memories and experiences that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. The Miami Beach Bowl is a proud addition to our lineup. I'd like to take a moment as I close to thank Nick Caperelli, who is our Senior Associate Commissioner for Football. His vision and hard work and intelligent planning, together again working with David and Claude and the Marlins organization and Marlins Park, has obviously made this day possible. I'd like to thank David and Claude again and all of our partners for their cooperation in making this happen. They shared our vision, and we thank them for their hospitality and their very warm welcome. We look forward to hosting this outstanding bowl game in this wonderful community, and thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you.
Senior Associate Commissioner at the American Athletic Conference, Mr. Nick Caperelli.
Good morning. Glad you all like my jacket. Just an Italian guy from the Northeast trying to fit in. You know, bowl games are supposed to be fun, you know, and I think those of you who know bowl games at all, the bowl committee wears bright, colorful jackets, and they showcase them as they go around the country to games. And so anybody who's interested in being on the Miami Beach Bowl committee, you too will get one of these jackets. We are proud today to announce the creation of the Miami Beach Bowl. This will be a postseason college football game that will be owned and operated by the American Athletic Conference. And obviously will take place right here in Marlins Park beginning next year, December of 2014. Today's announcement is the culmination of hard work by a number of people who have helped us get to this point today. I first need to acknowledge again David Sampson, Claude Delorme, and the entire Miami Marlins organization. We began discussions with the Marlins almost a year ago about the possibility of making this game a reality, and they have been great partners from the start. Thanks, guys. We have been fortunate to have received great support from Florida International University right here in Miami. FIU President Dr. Mark Rosenberg and Director of Athletics Pete Garcia have been invaluable in helping connect us with all the right people here in Miami-Dade County. I'd like to acknowledge Todd Stansberry, the Director of Athletics at the University of Central Florida, the number 23 ranked Knights. UCF is in its first year as a member of our conference and is a key component to our presence in the state of Florida. Doug Woolard, the athletic director at the University of South Florida, could not be here, but I can't underscore enough how important it is having two of Florida's largest state universities among our membership means to the future of our conference and to this new bowl game. I'd also like to acknowledge Eric Palms, the CEO of the Discover Orange Bowl, who is with us today. Eric and I have been friends for a long time. We do not view our respective games as being competitors. Instead, we plan to partner with them in ways that will help both of our games become more successful. Our hope is that we can be an asset to the Orange Bowl, as we share a common goal of bringing college football teams and their fans from around the country to South Florida. We have a number of staff members here from the conference office, as Mike mentioned, but I would like to particularly acknowledge Michael Costa, our Director of Football Administration. Michael has been involved in the planning and execution of this game from the outset, and his work has played a significant part in getting us here today. We're also fortunate to have a number of community, municipal, and state leaders with us. Too many to mention everyone individually, but please know that we appreciate your enthusiastic support of this event, and we pledge to be good neighbors in our planning, and we hope you will agree that we will be valuable members of the community. Before I go into the backstory regarding how this day came about, I'd like to go over some of the facts and figures for this event. Miami Beach Bowl will begin next year and is contracted through the next 6 years, through 2019, though we expect that the game will be a permanent part of the Miami sports scene. An American Athletic Conference team will participate in the game every year, and our opponent will come from Conference USA, the Mid-American Conference, or the Sun Belt Conference. We will also have the occasional opportunity to select an available team from any other conference across the country, should they become available. I'd like to welcome my colleagues Alfred White from Conference USA, Bob Generali from the Mid-American, and Bert Carter from the Sun Belt, who are here with us today. With the cooperation of the Miami Marlins, we will put together a full-time staff whose mission will be to develop and grow this event year-round. The Miami Beach Bowl staff will be housed right here at Marlins Park, and we have already started the process of identifying and recruiting some of the people who will make this event a success. As with any bowl game, the game itself is only part of the attraction. The festivities that lead up to the game are every bit as important to the overall experience for our student athletes, coaches, and fans, and there is no better backdrop anywhere for these events than Miami Beach. We expect that the official hotels for this event will be located in Miami Beach, and we will accept proposals from interested properties in the coming weeks. While we are still very much in the planning stages for many of the Bowl Week events, we are committed to providing a first-class experience and to making a positive, substantial, and measurable impact on the local community. We commissioned an economic impact study by Miami's own Washington Economic Group, and the results of that study tell us that this event will create a direct influx of $34 million annually to Miami-Dade County. This includes new jobs, as well as millions of dollars spent on hotels, restaurants, and retail outlets. We are currently in negotiations with multiple television networks that have expressed a strong desire to broadcast this game. We know that the television coverage of this event will bring outstanding exposure to the cities of Miami and Miami Beach, and will present this region as one of the country's great tourist destinations. And for that exposure, the Miami Beach Bowl will depend on the commitment and support of the entire Miami-Dade County community. We will create a bowl committee whose job will be to help grow and promote the game through the local sale of tickets and corporate sponsorships. Community involvement will be critical to our long-term success. We present this game with a deep appreciation for the rich history of football in South Florida, and specifically this very site, which has been the home of 5 Super Bowls and some of the great moments and legendary teams in NFL and NCAA history. It was right here that Joe Namath famously followed through on his guaranteed victory in Super Bowl III. While we respectfully nod to those who came before us, we also recognize that the future of college football will be radically different even a year from now than it is today. Gone are the simpler days where your record determined your postseason destination. Bowl matchups will now be decided by geographic fit, opponent, and a multitude of other factors that were not considered heavily even a few years ago. We felt we had to be innovative in our approach to postseason opportunities. Through owning and operating the Miami Beach Bowl, the American Athletic Conference will have the unique ability to ensure that our participating student athletes and fans have a memorable experience without becoming a financial burden for the institutions. We have said from the beginning we wanted to provide our student athletes and fans with a postseason bowl lineup that includes great opponents and vacation destinations. We believe we have accomplished both. And as we grow as a conference, it is our hope to see the Miami Beach Bowl grow with us as we both become a fixture on the national and local sports scene for years to come. Thank you.
Mr. Pete Garcia, the Executive Director of Sports and Entertainment at Florida International University, will offer remarks in Spanish for those in attendance.
Buenos días. Le quiero dar las gracias a todo el mundo representando la conferencia American Athletic Conference, el comisionado Mike Oresco, Nick Caperelli. Este es un día muy importante para esta comunidad y es un día que hace como 2 años que empezó esto con los Marlins, con American Athletic Conference. Es una cosa, un evento que estamos trayendo al sur de la Florida que va a representar muchas cosas buenas para esta comunidad. Antes de empezar con algunas de esas cosas, quiero reconocer al alcalde Bauer de Miami Beach, Jimmy Morales, el city manager, Commissioner Linda Bell, Commissioner Zapata, who's here, Eddie Gonzalez, Mario José de la Cruz, and I hope I'm not missing anybody, but I know that's the political delegation that's here, so we want to quiero darle las gracias a todos ellos por estar aquí. También quiero reconocer a Brett Delaney de St. Pete Bowl, que está aquí, Eric Palms, del Orange Bowl Committee, Bill Talbert, de Miami Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau. Todd Stansbury, felicidades por ganar un juego la semana pasada. That means congratulations, by the way. Este evento, le quiero dar las gracias a muchas personas. Mark Rosenberg, el presidente de FIU, que fue instrumental en poniendo esto, ayudar a poner este evento en sitio. Hicimos un estudio de la economía. Va a traer más de $35 millones todos los años esta economía. Más de 2,000 cuartos de hoteles que se van a usar, más todos los restaurantes. Muchos trabajos que va a hacer, que va a crear, así que mucho empleo que va a crear para esta comunidad. Y esta es una comunidad aquí donde estamos en Miami. El juego se va a jugar aquí en Miami, los hoteles van a estar en Miami Beach, pero va a afectar a toda la comunidad del sur de la Florida. Y eso es lo más importante, que esto es una cosa bien grande para esta comunidad. Cada vez que se pueda traer un evento, y estos eventos hay como 35 ahora en el país, es muy competitivo para traer un evento de esto a una ciudad. Así que quiero felicitar a todo el mundo, que fueron muchas personas que pudieron hacer esto una realidad, a traerlo aquí a Marlins Park, el presidente David Sampson, darle las gracias a él por hacer esto. Aquí se han jugado muchos juegos importantes, de Super Bowl, de campeonatos, championships de la Universidad de Miami contra Nebraska, los Jets cuando ganaron el Super Bowl aquí, así que se van a seguir jugando muchos juegos importantes. Esta no es un bowl que va a competir con el Orange Bowl, esto va a ser un partnership también con el Orange Bowl y Eric Palms, reconocerlo a él que está aquí, así que esto es nada más para agregarle a esta comunidad otro juego importante de fútbol. Las conferencias, obviamente American Athletic Conference va a ser el host todos los años de este juego, pero van a haber otras conferencias. Va a haber conferencia USA, el Sun Belt Conference, el Mid-American Conference, más de 50 universidades, muchas de ellas que nunca han venido a jugar un juego aquí. Así que van a traer muchos fanáticos que nunca han venido aquí, y si los trae aquí una vez, estamos seguros que van a regresar. Así que le quiero dar las gracias a todo el mundo por venir estos días, y un día muy importante para esta comunidad. Gracias.
Great. Thank you to all of our speakers. We'll take questions from the media in attendance now. You'll just raise your hand and you'll be recognized. If you would just please do the courtesy of introducing yourself and your media outlet, and if you address your question to a specific person at the table or to the group, we can accommodate that as well. So questions, please. In the front row.
Steve Wine with the Associated Press. I'm not sure who can best answer this, but I have to ask Maria. Little Havana, which is in Miami, so why is it Miami Beach Bowl?
I'll answer this. That's a good question. You know, a lot that goes into these bowl games is it's a lot of factors that go into them. A lot of it's marketing and branding. A lot of it is trying to identify the game with the area that it's located. It was important to us that Miami be in the name in some way. We considered South Beach Bowl, Miami Beach Bowl, obviously Miami Bowl. As I alluded to in our comments, bowl games are really about the whole week of events and the whole experience for the fans and the student athletes who come here. And it's really going to be an event that's going to benefit all of Miami-Dade County. The national branding of the event, we felt, would bring the most attention to the game and to the area, would be to call it the Miami Beach Bowl, because I think when people who aren't from this area think about coming here to vacation, they think about Miami Beach. And this might sound a little bit naive, but I'm convinced, while all of you certainly know that there's a city of Miami and a city of Miami Beach, many people across the country think Miami Beach is simply a beach in Miami. So we think that the Miami Beach Bowl brands the game the way we want it to be branded, but at the same time has, obviously has the name Miami in it.
In the front, please.
Joe, just on the first part, the plan right now is to play roof open, wall open. The roof gives us the flexibility to close it depending on the weather and the circumstances that we're faced. But ideally, late December, when we first discussed it, the plan was to stay open, both wall and roof.
Yeah, and in terms of TV, we've begun conversation with multiple networks. They've been very positive. We wanted to get through this announcement and show that the game is and will become a reality before we move forward. But we have every reason to believe that there'll be a television agreement in place in the near future with one of the major networks.
Here in front, please.
Yeah, it's not too early. We're looking at having a $60 ticket price for the vast majority of the tickets. There certainly may be some premium sections that are made available, but $60, which in the bowl business is a very very reasonable price. Yep.
In the second row.
Is this bowl going to be set up if your champion is not in the top tier bowl or the playoffs? Will your champion play in this bowl?
Our champion could play in this bowl. We have maintained flexibility for our champion with a number of bowl games. We'll determine which opponents are available in a particular game. But absolutely, this is an attractive destination. It's an attractive bowl. And there may well be the kind of game that makes perfect sense for our champion.
Sure.
One quick follow-up. You guys know a payout for the schools yet?
We're working on that with our participating conferences at this point. It's not finalized for ourselves. As we mentioned, it's a unique structure, something that hasn't been done before. The reality is we will pay ourselves an appearance fee, so I think that number could be variable from year to year.
Other questions, please? Okay, front.
Well, again, I'll defer to Nick because he's been working on dates and thinking about the TV schedule, but we were thinking that possibly before Christmas, but not just at Christmas, would make perfect sense for this game, perhaps the 22nd or the 23rd. Some of that would depend on TV windows. We'll also talk to the bowl, obviously, and I don't mean talking to ourselves. We'll be obviously talking to the Marlins. We'll be talking to the community. We'll be talking to, the mayor, everyone to discuss just what makes the most sense. And again, TV will have some impact on that, no question.
Yeah, Mike's exactly right. And further, the preliminary research we've done in some early meetings with hotels and people in the community, it's our goal, as we said, is to be an asset to this community. And pre-Christmas is the time where there's certainly room for more visitors from out of town. The week between Christmas and New Year's is pretty jam-packed, and quite frankly, you all probably don't need our help during that week. But having it pre-Christmas, I think, gives us all a better opportunity to make an impact on the community.
Over here, please.
Yeah, if you look at the drawing just to my left, you'll see right now we're looking at a capacity of about 34,000 for football. Some of the seats in the home run porch would not be used because they're partially obstructed for the end zone. And same thing down the first base side, the last rows of the baseline reserve, like sections 1 to 6. It would go on a V basis towards the top, but we will lose a few seats there. But all of our Vista seats, which we have close to 10,000, and our total capacity in the lower bowl would be just over 20,000, 4,000 on the Legends and Founders Club, and just under 10,000 for the Vista. So total capacity of 34, but north-south configuration heading towards right field. And when we designed the building, it was designed with soccer and baseball in mind, soccer and football in mind. So we wanted to make sure we could it would fit in, and that's the configuration we laid out. Yes, absolutely. Because when you open the wall, it gives you a lot of flexibility, Joe. Plus, we also have flexibility at that time of the year to add some bleachers when you look at the open area on the other side. So we could add some bleachers if the demand was there for the tickets above 34. We would have flexibility to consider that as well.
Yeah, interesting story. When we were when we first started the conversations, and Claude assured me that the football field could fit. I said, Claude, I don't know you that well, and I certainly don't want to say that I don't trust you, but I want to see it. So we measured it out. We had his people did a great job of coning it off, so we could see how it laid out, and it fits in very nicely.
Question in front.
Well, we won't do like the Cubs did, and theirs was a little bit short. But 3 other MLB facilities have a bowl game, so we are the 4th MLB team to host a bowl game. We will definitely talk to them in terms of conversion and those elements and how to facilitate. And we will be buying the goalposts and those elements and some netting on both sides. But yeah, now that after today we start the next phase with some capital expenses on that side. But we definitely look forward to it.
In front.
This is obviously going to be the first football game, I guess, you have to play here. Any plans for high school events or all-star games? Is there anything that you discussed with that?
Football All-Star games or baseball All-Star games? Oh. Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about the fact that we're going to host other events here, and it's just a matter we want to find the right ones. And I'd say out of the 210 we've hosted, last year, almost all of them were right, but now we're doing bigger ones as well. And this was an important deal for Marlins Park, and to show the people in the city of Miami and the county of Miami, and obviously a lot of stuff surrounded this ballpark, and people are beginning to realize, wow, there's stuff that goes on here. And of all shapes and sizes, and partnering with the American Athletic Conference and the amount of business it's going to bring. You just heard a economic group that I think has been cited by the county before, bringing in $34 million for one event, and that's just a start. So that's exciting to us as people who live in Miami, as Miamians. So high school games we can do, and it's all good. As far as a high school all-star game, I've not been approached with that, but you never know. We wouldn't say no to that because it'd be great for high schools to do that.
Any other questions for the panel, please? Okay, well, we'll conclude the formal part of the press conference here today. The panelists, if you would, stay around for one-on-one interviews with people who might be interested. Thank you all for coming. And if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know. Thank you.